is not a solitary journey, for they are granted access to the rift, the thread connecting worlds.
I see you recognize my worth, Arisen.
So, to get the ball rolling, number 1, we're gonna give it to Dragon's Dogma 2. It actually came out last month, as some of you might remember. It was the single most negatively received game on Steam for an entire week. That being said, it actually shifted real fast as developers came up with as many fixes as possible to make it decent. Now, ever since, it's been actually one of the finest makeovers. We don't think of it as a sequel. If not anything else, it's a huge improvement over its original, especially graphics, with a somewhat decent pace from beginning to end. If you do like it, there's actually a free demo you can try.
The beckoning dragon, the Arisen and their pawns set foot across two nations, as disparate in terrain as they are in their ways of life. In Vermund, a fertile land cradled by alpine peaks and rolling hills, the fortress city stands as a bastion of prosperity and security. Cascading waterfalls and serpentine rivers flow throughout the countryside, feeding into fruitful farms where a feeling of abundance permeates the fresh air. Just above the capital city, Vernworth Palace rises proudly.
You are approaching the gates of Vernworth.
Here, the Arisen is traditionally revered as the sovereign, a monarch crowned by destiny and looked upon as a champion, protecting the land from the dragon's scourge. Beyond Vermund's verdant embrace lies Batau, the nation of Beastren, a land of unforgiving deserts. Its shifting sands and jagged canyons require creative thinking to traverse, with gondolas connecting precarious outposts. Here, the Arisen is not an esteemed sovereign, but an outsider, their pawn companions believed to be a source of grave misfortune.
Coming in at number 2, as most of you know, we have Tekken 8, easily the most graphically advanced fighting game we've ever come across on any platform, period. Throw in a fluid gameplay and a huge roster to choose from, additionally a decent multiplayer as opposed to its first days of release, and a packed to the brim with replay campaign. Tekken 8 is fresh, it is as perfect the word perfect can suggest. 10 out of 10, highly recommended over any Street Fighter.
Fate of their countries.
I'll give Kazuya a nice smack in the face!
これで全てのピースが揃った託された希望決して無駄にはしない
It's a new age, still a no game. Watch me pave a new way, it's a no brain. Paying dues will be used in a cool way. Knock the schools loose, even on the good day.
人類よ戦いに教本しろ
We are banishers. We end suffering for those who live. We bring closure to those who don't.
Number 3, we have Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden. It's a narrative-driven action-adventure from Donut and Interactive itself, inspired by Assassin's Creed Valhalla, maybe a little bit of God of War games, just much more on the narrative side, and definitely more dramatic. The story of Banisher is actually somewhat similar to the tale of two brothers. More than anything, it's a emotional journey, but it's not a bad action RPG either. Got a decent open world, solid voice acting, and we give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Something alive.
No. It's dangerous.
Come no closer. Who are you?
I'm a banisher.
Do we kill?
Or do we part forever?
We must decide now.
Where is my
I love
The reunion. When worlds
worlds merge. Good, Aerith. Pray.
What happened to this place?
The world's ending.
Possibly the biggest game released recently. Well, the most anticipated PlayStation exclusive easily, and also, yes, the best game of 2024. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth doesn't have a single negative review on any website right now, literally. I actually cried. I mean, Rebirth does many things to keep it above the rest of its own kind. Not only it elevates everything the first game had to offer, but the story is more engaging and the combat system was refined as well. Should you try it? No. Could you try it?
Not on my ship.
There will be consequences. Now, make us proud.
She'll go far.
Hey! Get a room, will ya?
Take care of Aerith for me.
Fire!
Cloud, bring me the black materia.
Cloud, whatever happens, I'm here for you.
No!
Hawaii. There's someone there who wants to meet you. It's your mother.
You ready for this, Kasuga?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never played a Like a Dragon or a Yakuza game. But either way, number 5 we have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is a turn-based RPG adventure that apparently the game's setting has changed to Hawaii as opposed to Japan. This time it boasts at over 50 hours of gameplay from start to finish and has been regarded as one of the better games in its series. So I don't know, if you have a platform that supports this game, I think it's pretty safe to assume it's definitely worth a shot.
Full freedom of movement while fighting, allowing you to strategically position yourself and your allies to more effectively take down foes. Jobs in Infinite Wealth are like classes in traditional RPGs, giving party members their own skills, perks, unique weapons, and outfits. Experiment with different jobs to find what best suits your playstyle, team dynamic, and of course, fashion sense. And what would Infinite Wealth be without outrageous new Kiwami skills? Like Nanba's essence of Big Ass Bird, Ichiban's essence of Mind's Eye, and many more. Kiwami skills aren't the only...
Moving on to number 6, we have one of the longest awaited top-down shooters of all time, Helldivers. Now, after 7 years of work, Helldivers 2 went on and delivered one of the most fun to play third-person shooters of the year by first of all delivering a nearly moment-to-moment surprisingly well-designed gameplay. Not only it significantly improved in pace, but the pool of missions, weapons, and just a variety of battlefields you hop in and out is mind-blowing. 10 out of 10, you will cry.
Green Lantern, The Flash,
Superman. My Justice League will burn this Earth down for me.
Now, previously, if you had the chance to play the Arkham games, I think you will also have a good time with Suicide Squad, if nothing better. And firstly, it's a live-action game kinda like Fortnite, which is definitely not for all types of players. But that being said, it has a decent storytelling, the boss battles are great, and you will enjoy the character's design. However, if you don't like the concept of looter shooters, don't even go near this game, even if you love the DC characters.
Thought you'd never ask.
Pick and choose, sit and lose, all you different crews. Chicks and dudes, who you think is really kicking too? He's the fastest man alive, according to all these girlfriends. I'm happy, feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming up.
so we chased our dreams.
I'm guessing you probably know this even though we haven't talked about the reviews over here, but Skull and Bones was one of the most anticipated Ubisoft IPs for the past decade, and we've finally had our first official copy of it this February. It's a multiplayer pirate open world adventure, kind of like the Black Flag. I mean, it's definitely a clone off of that, and you take control of a pirate ship and team up with your friends for raids. Other than that, I just like to say there is many better pirate games than this. Way too many more, even on mobiles.
Clawed our way to anything and everything. Free to carve out our own destiny.
You should see me in the crowd. Watch me make them bow. One by one. You should see me.
And all those that stand in our way. May their corpses rot at the depths of the ocean. Their world was never ours. O shaman of salvation, long have we waited for this day.
That being said, possibly the longest wait in its developer's history, Granblue Fantasy Relink is a 8-year-old entry in the Granblue series, a PC to PlayStation exclusive, and right now actually the second or third best JRPG released within 2024. So, I don't know. If you like to play your usual go-to RPGs but with a layer of immersion by going all the way online, Relink over here is divine in delivering that experience specifically. Either way, however, it's got a pretty fun and enjoyable fighting system, and the story is honestly remarkable.
When I needed you the most.
The ordeals of our pilgrimage are nearly at an end. Your crew is largely to thank for that. Acknowledge my vision, and salvation shall come.
No one gives a crap about your evil plans! Just give our friends back! You hear me?
That is the light of the apocalypse, the fire of doomsday. If the attack lands, all the skies will be obliterated.
Where am I?
Derceto isn't cursed or blessed. It's a battleground.
Alone in the Dark, that being said, is maybe one of the good examples of a hit or miss, depending on just who is playing it, right? THQ Nordic actually has managed to revive a classic detective noir, PT-inspired horror game, and amongst its finest qualities we'd like to mention the game's, well, first off, score, atmosphere also, and the puzzles and overall design too. If you are, however, keen to the Alone in the Dark games, you will definitely enjoy this one. Otherwise, it has a rather frustrating gameplay scheme and pretty much terrible controls occasionally, however.
Come on, Carnby, think!
Not everyone needs to be saved, Mr. Conby. You should know that by now.
I did everything you wanted. What else can I do?
Today, the American Expeditionary Forces face considerable
John.
losses in France.
I think I've lost my head.
The brave men will
John.
as defenders not of just Europe,
I am sorry.
but the world.
I can't do this.
What's the matter, Emily?
Lies. More lies.
Spring!
My persona represents the strength of my heart. And from here on, my heart will never falter.
Persona 3 Reload has actually managed to deliver a superbly well modernized classic JRPG whilst adding plenty of addition and many more improvements to keep it fresh. I would say it's easily the best entry and game overall in the entire franchise. Well, maybe not easily, but we highly recommend this one over any other. Like, it's one of the finest turn-based RPGs of 2024 without a doubt. It features the same characters as Persona 3, including the director's cut, there's a new playable intro, better visuals, and much more in this one.
Are all destined to embark on a journey of self-discovery.
Justice wins again!
Mission complete.
Chaos begets the new.
Rise of the Ronin, however, specifically for those of you owning a PlayStation 5, you could say it's a must-try if you had a minute of fun playing Ghost of Tsushima. Well, simply, it's pretty much more of the same. It takes place in an open world and offers an even more accurate samurai-style battle system. Although it's a hack and slasher, it's a so-so depending on how deep you went into the Ghost of Tsushima. Rise of the Ronin has pretty mild RPG mechanics, intense combat, it is fast and requires a little bit of strategy thinking. 9 out of 10, it's a really good game, pretty good boss fights.
Will you forge?
World is no longer a Microsoft exclusive, however, but sitting on every platform, I mean, not Switch, however, and it really is the prime example of a good copy. First off, it's pretty much another Pokemon game, with even more survival depth and too much content to keep you around and wanting to come back for more. Palworld, for those of you new, is a relaxing life sim with a bunch of creatures just called pals. And just like Pokemon, you get to take them, collect them, train, breed, and even farm with them. This is how it works. It's a pretty darn addicting game. Available on all consoles since last month, in case you missed it, Expedition's next game, which goes by the name Mud Runner, was actually met with almost overwhelming positive scores on both PCs and consoles. Technically speaking, it runs in the same footstep of SnowRunner, but it offers much more quality of life improvements. It's way bigger maps, fresh design, we think it's pretty safe to say it would be the most addictive game in pace released in its own kind, and this is how it works. It definitely runs just as good on the Nintendo Switch as well. Prince of Persia Lost Crown is available on PCs, Switch, and on the platforms as well. If you haven't already had the chance to give it a go or just watch the entire thing on YouTube, it might as well be one of the pioneers in genre blending stuff, specifically Metroidvania games of the year. It's a 2D in design game with a 3D background. Previously, if you enjoy games such as Bloodstain, it's pretty much the same formula, it just has more depth. A little slower in action though, and it's the work of Ubisoft. It will cost you $50 and has a pretty decent story as well. Rated a 7 out of 10 on pretty much all platforms, Pacific Drive is a running-based first-person driving and survival game. Technically, how the game is described by its developers, it's somewhere a blend of science fiction and road trip stories. It's got a dash of open world, the game was released a few months ago, and offers a near S, but more accurately, a A-tier story alongside a super soundtrack. Highly recommend this one if you like games such as the Forest series, with just less tension, more driving.
must be the new guy Emir mentioned.
And last but not least, we've got the single absolute best love letter to classic RPGs of the Super Nintendo era over here. One that doesn't shy in a single department by bringing both a rich story and a very innovative gameplay in both combat and design. Mutant Chronicles 100 Heroes is filled to the brim with nostalgia elements and never leaves you wondering what is the next thing to do. There's like a million quests to finish. We'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. You will be busy for quite a while with this one.
Good men know life is precious.
But what cause have you to fight?
My cause? It's to protect as many people as I can.
This day we fight for our home, for our king, and for the future of our country! We should just finish this!
All right, who's next? Keep them coming.
Easy, Marissa. No throwing our lives away, remember?
The Duke says shield! The Duke says sword!
You have a great many friends and allies, Commander Noah.
I also chose my path, and I will see it through to the end!